Ja Morant is slowly becoming one of, if not the best young players in the NBA. In the first 4 years of Ja Morant's career, he is averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists on 47% shooting and 32% shooting from the three-point line. Now, he's far from the best young player in NBA history, but many people think that Ja Morant is overrated. I put up a poll on my YouTube channel asking who are the most overrated players in the NBA. It had names like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, and of course, Ja Morant. And to my surprise, Ja Morant led that hands down, racking up 80% of the votes saying that he is the most overrated player in the NBA, while the only other person who got votes was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 20%. Now, throughout this video, I will give you guys a look as to why people think Ja Morant is overrated, why I believe he is properly rated, and why in the next coming years he will become the most underrated player in the NBA. Let's talk about it. In the first 4 years of Ja Morant's career, he is already a one-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, had been selected to the All-NBA Second Team in 2021-2022 season, and was selected to the All-Rookie First Team in the 2019-2020 season. And you can see his growth throughout those 4 years. When he came into the league, he averaged 18 points. Next year was 19 points. The year after that, it shot up to 27 points per game. And this year, he's sitting at a consistent 26 points per game. Not to go along with his 7+ assists, along with his 5+ rebounds per game, shooting an efficient 45% from the field and 33% from three. Now, with those stats and those accolades, you're probably wondering, why do people have him as overrated? Well, for one, it's the team that he's on. The Memphis Grizzlies has never been known as a poverty franchise, with having all-stars with the likes of Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, Shareef Abdur-Rahim, Zach Randolph, Rudy Gay, just to name a few. So it's no surprise they were able to build such a great team surrounding Ja Morant with only his first 4 seasons in the NBA. Ja Morant has players like Brandon Clark, who was a lockdown defender, Dylan Brooks, who was a knockdown three-point shooter, Steven Adams, who is known as one of the best pick-and-roll centers in the league, and Jaren Jackson Jr., who many consider to be the best perimeter defending big men in the NBA today. And I know what you're probably thinking, why bring up Ja Morant's team? Great players belong on great teams, so what does that have to do with anything? And I'm with you on that. If you are a great player, you should not be faulted for having a great team around you. But Ja Morant is known to be in and out of the lineup with injuries. In his first 3 full seasons, Ja Morant has only played over 65 games one time, and that was in his rookie season when he played a total of 67 games. More notable of his injuries and absence out of the starting lineup came in the 2021-2022 season, where Ja Morant missed a total of 25 games, where the Memphis Grizzlies had a record of 20-5 through that 25-game stretch. That is a big reason why people claim Ja Morant to be overrated. If he isn't on such a good team that can perform at high, if not higher levels with him off of the floor, then he isn't really making that much of an impact to the team. Now, like I said, I don't fault a player for being a good player on a good team. I don't think a player should be knocked down in the rankings because he has a good team. But many people see that as him not really being a good player, but just being within a good system. And the last reason why I believe Ja Morant is considered overrated is because his fans just hype him up so much. I mean, if you just look at Twitter whenever he plays, if you look at him himself tweet out after every single game, it can get a little toxic and a little bit annoying, if I do say so myself. But one day, he'll do something and his fans will go crazy and you're going to be like, okay, that wasn't that big of a deal. But then the next day, he dunks over 3 people and then you're like, okay, maybe he is that guy. And with his antics on and off the court, all the excessive tweeting, him grittying every time he makes a shot, grittying on the opponent's logo, he's starting to build up that 2013 LeBron James, 2017 Kevin Durant type hate. And we all know when NBA fans hate a player, they will never give them the props that they truly deserve. And I feel like we're seeing that happen with Ja Morant right before our eyes. Now, the reason I believe Ja Morant is properly rated in the overall consensus to the NBA community is because only his super fans rate him so highly. Now, me personally, I believe Ja Morant is a top 5 under 25 years of age player in the NBA. And I feel like he should be talked about in the likes of Luka Doncic. He should be talked about in the lights of Jason Tatum. He should be talked about in the lights of Zion Williamson. He should be talked about in the lights of Trae Young because he is that good of a player for his age. Now, am I saying he is better than Luka Doncic? No. Am I saying he is better than Jason Tatum? No. Am I saying he is better than Trae Young? Hell yes, he is. But that is besides the point. The point I am trying to make is Ja Morant is a great player. If you look at his stats compared to other younger player stats, he is on that top 5, top 3 level of a performer in the NBA for younger players. And I don't really see anybody usually disagreeing with that. I don't really see normal NBA fans saying Ja Morant is the best player in the NBA. I don't usually see normal players saying Ja Morant is better than people like Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic or even Steph Curry. And let's move on from just comparing Ja Morant to the youngest players in the NBA. Last year, Ja Morant averaged 27.4 points per game. That is good enough to have him 6th in the NBA for most points scored per game last season. That has him over Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and Steph Curry, just to name a few players. And along with him being 6th in points per game last season, he was also top 15 in assists per game, averaging 6.7 assists in the 2021-2022 season. So not only is he a top 5 scorer, but he is still able to facilitate the basketball to his teammates for the open shots and for them to be able to get good quality looks. And the main reason why I believe Ja Morant is properly rated is because he has a play style as a point guard that we haven't seen really since Derrick Rose. Now, I can go on a tangent and talk about how great Derrick Rose was, but that's a different video for a different time. But in an NBA era where three-point shooting has become the main route many players take, it's going to be rare where we see that 6'3 guard, 6'2, 6'3 guard be able to get into the paint, jump over your best player, and dunk on their face. Because look at the point guards now. We have Trae Young, Darius Garland, Fred VanVleet, Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving. These are all point guards who dominate at the three-point line. The era of the athletic point guard is becoming extinct. So to see a guy come into the league and do what hasn't really been done since Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook, it is a sight to see. And lastly, why I believe Ja Morant will never get the respect he truly deserves and will continue to be underrated going on in the future is because the hate he has cultivated in the past 3 seasons. People are looking at Ja Morant like he's too cocky now. Like he thinks he's better than what he actually is. And I know this sounds crazy, but just because you don't like somebody, you will not give them the respect that they deserve. We have seen it time and time again with LeBron James. LeBron James was hated in the early 2010s. People didn't appreciate what they had in LeBron James for the time being. And now they look back on those days thinking, wow, I should have really appreciated when greatness was being done in front of me. And I believe in the next 2 or 3 years, when Ja Morant is in the conversation for MVPs, when he is making deep playoff runs, deep championship runs, people are going to take for granted what he is doing, just like they took for granted what LeBron James was doing. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Do you think Ja Morant is underrated, overrated, or properly rated? I hope you guys did enjoy. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.